The world has to overcome not only the damage done to our economies and our societies by COVID-19, it also has to confront the repercussions of a dangerous clash between major global powers.
It's becoming apparent, given what's going on across the globe, that we're at the end.
We not only fight for Ukraine, we fight for this new world order for the democratic countries.
What is happening in Ukraine right now, fundamentally at base, is not a geopolitical event. It is a monetary event.
You always thought this was about the financial system.
There will be what we call the black swans.
The financial system of the West is coming to its last legs here.
The most crypto-friendly banks in the United States are now compromised.
The petrodollar is essentially at the end of its lifespan.
Now you can change the reserve currency, but you can also de-link the reserve currency from the United States political infrastructure, globalize it.
When our founders declared a new order of the ages, they were acting on an ancient hope that is meant to be fulfilled.
They voted on a plan called the Going Direct Reset.
It's possible that we could see a much quicker change, faster change than we'd ever experienced.
We are in the midst of the fourth industrial revolution, which accelerates global change.
This is the reset.
Good evening, all. Spiritual here, broadcasting from sunny Florida. I hope all those out there with eyes to see and ears to hear are doing okay amid the turbulence. The Great Reset is upon us. Let's review where we've been in order to understand where we are now and where we're headed. Let's talk about the Going Direct Reset.
In Jackson Hole, Wyoming, at the annual Kansas City Federal Reserve retreat, you had a strategy put forward for their new global empire. In fact, the term they used was it's time for a regime change in international finance.
The Going Direct Reset was a plan put together by a group of retired central bankers working through the BlackRock Investment Institute.
When I saw in December of 2022 BlackRock's new Global Outlook report and I started to scan it, I was shocked because it literally says things like a new regime is taking form and not going away in our view, and a new world order. When I saw that report and then thought back to what I had heard occurred in 2019 at a Federal Reserve meeting at Jackson Hole, I was like, oh my goodness gracious, it is starting. Now mind you, this point in time I'm reminiscing about back in 2022, I was shocked, right? Imagine how I feel now. After FTX, after SVB, after Signature, after all these arrangements going on that are surfacing and emerging, this is the reset, folks. It is gradual, and then it's going to be sudden, some kind of big financial or societal issue, such as infrastructure issues, internet issues, things of that nature. God forbid. It's all part of the reset. As Catherine Austin Fitts says, everything you see is part of the Great Reset. It's all related. It's a comprehensive plan.
Everything that's happening to us right now is part of the Going Direct Reset, and they voted on it. It was a plan. What it did was it put together a plan, and this is my words, not theirs, whereby the central banks take control of the treasury functions. This is the way I would describe it. BlackRock is an asset manager who manages, it's one of the largest holders of index funds and retirement savings. And so a lot of the money they're swinging around are individual money or working through pension funds, but that have major positions in every company in America. So if you look at the pharmaceuticals, if you look at all the companies, all the tech companies, BlackRock again and again and again has a big position. So while they're managing all these companies, then the Fed does something absolutely unprecedented. In my world as a financial person, I cannot tell you how shocking it was. They basically turned over operational asset management functions for the Fed and the New York Fed to BlackRock.
The BlackRock proposal is called Dealing with the Next Downturn, from unconventional monetary policy to unprecedented policy coordination. And it actually calls for a financial facility for liquidity and all types of financial transaction facilitation, all types of services such as tokenization perhaps. Please allow me to read some highlights from Going Direct. An unprecedented response is needed when monetary policy is exhausted and fiscal policy alone is not enough. That response will likely involve going direct. Going direct means the central bank finding ways to get central bank money directly in the hands of public and private sector splendors. A practical way of going direct would need to deliver the following: a mechanism that enables nimble deployment of productive fiscal policy, a standing emergency fiscal facility. It would be a permanent setup, but would only be activated when monetary policy is tapped out. Well, my friends, it seems like if that moment is not now, that it is very, very near. An emergency fiscal facility that we refer to as the Standing Emergency Fiscal Facility, or SEFF, would operate on top of automatic stabilizers and discretionary spending with the explicit objective of bringing the price level back to target. The central bank would activate the SEFF when interest rates cannot be lowered and a significant inflation miss is expected over the policy horizon. The central bank would determine the size of the SEFF.
The BlackRock plan calls for blurring the lines between government fiscal policy and central bank policy, exactly what the U.S. Treasury and the Federal Reserve are doing today in the United States. BlackRock has now been hired by the Federal Reserve, the Bank of Canada, and Sweden's central bank to implement key features of the plan. 3 of the authors at BlackRock previously worked as central bankers in the US, Canada, and Switzerland, respectively.
Now, shifting gears slightly here for 1 second, the Rothschilds in February of 2023 announced that they were taking their bank private. The holding company for the Rothschilds, Concordia, said none of the businesses of the Rothschild Group needs access to capital from the public equity markets. In addition, on February 28th of 2023, it came out that the company was opening the Dubai International Financial Center. So with this whole financial facility we're talking about for the Going Direct reset, and UAE, Dubai and everything being a new financial hub, it's very, very interesting what we're seeing here. And I'm not saying that this Rothschild office in Dubai is the SEFF outlined in the Going Direct proposal. What I am saying is that it's a trend that money is going private, and the way that the infrastructure exists is going to be different. Financial power and decision-making authority is going to be reserved with the central bankers, it seems.
As global markets are grappling with the aftermath of several big bank failures, the Federal Reserve has announced that its FedNow Instant 24/7 payment network will be fully launched in July. Now, this is widely seen as laying the groundwork of facilitating a CBDC, or central bank digital currency, also known as FedCoin. Now, generally speaking, a central bank digital currency is the digital form of a country's fiat currency. A CBDC is issued and regulated by a nation's monetary authority or central bank.
When it comes to going direct and the potential architectures of CBDCs, which according to a BIS document in 2020 was direct, indirect, and hybrid, I suspect that it'll either be direct or hybrid, most likely hybrid. The choice is shaped by two questions. Is the CBDC a direct claim on the central bank, or is the claim indirect via payment intermediaries? Now, shifting gears here again, a couple years ago I had heard of the Bank of London, and I just thought it was the Bank of England. I didn't realize until a little while later that it was actually a brand new bank.
The Bank of London started with one simple question. The system is broken. How do we fix it?
One of the things that we all learned from the financial crisis was the degree of interconnectivity of the entire financial system. Large bank, small bank, retail investor, institutional investor, retail client, the man and the woman on the street, going to work every day with their 401ks declining. All of a sudden, the financial system, we all became aware, was completely interconnected. And as a result, risk could transfer in an interconnected way. And since then, tremendous gains have been made in capital and liquidity and vast aspects of the financial system. Having said that, there is a massive amount of work to be done in a complex, nuanced part of the market that deals with payments and money transfer.
The global payments, clearing and settlement systems are not currently fit for purpose. These systems are too expensive, they take too long to come to settlement. There isn't an alternative.
Just between the UK, the EU and the US, less than 100 banks control 75% of the world's spendable money. That's approximately $2.5 quadrillion annually.
There's been a bunch of fintechs and other participants who've done a really good job innovating around the edges, but they're really stunted because to bring real innovation, you have to innovate in the core. And you can only do that if you're a clearing bank.
But even they really struggle with this. It would be like trying to change the engine of an aeroplane mid-flight.
The Bank of London will transform the financial industry for everyone's benefit.
You can deliver to your customers the products and services that you actually want to. You're no longer constrained by the limits of your current banking partner.
By working with us as a customer, you're going to be able to service your customers better, be able to address the movement of money between all of the major corridors, be able to move that money in real time, be able to apply the best of breed in terms of compliance and related technology on top of that to make those transactions more transparent, to make them better for regulators, and to make them faster.
I think we're at a point right now where people truly understand the criticality of the need for safety when it comes to payments and clearing.
We are going to finally bring disruption to the very fundamentals of banking, making it safer in the process.
We have a very sound long-term vision to build the brand new yet long-term sustaining clearing bank of the future. And I would say innovation is woven into everything we do, psychologically, technologically. It's the lifeblood of our business.
And then on March 12th of 2023, we saw the Bank of London submit a proposal to purchase SVB's UK arm. A consortium of leading private equity firms led by the Bank of London confirms it has submitted formal proposals to His Majesty's Treasury. Then one of my followers on Twitter, Callie Kings, pointed out that the CFO from Silicon Valley Bank, or one of the CFOs, works at the Bank of London now. So you see how this is methodically unfolding and dots are connecting and new infrastructures, new consortiums, new paradigm is being formed before our very eyes. And we have some of the best seats in the house. Those of you who know me from Twitter, we have been on the money.
So look, bottom line, this started in 2019. There was a repo crisis. Overnight lending rates exploded, and the system was going to unwind then. Then luckily for the system, COVID came along and allowed central banks and politicians to spend unprecedented amounts of money, and that saved the system until now. And what we're seeing going on was baked into the cake. It was inevitable. It's a global sovereign debt collapse. And in November of last year, we saw something happen that hasn't happened since 1930. What is that? That's money supply, M2. Year-over-year growth rate went below zero. This is the 5th time it's happened, and the other 4 times since 1868 were associated with financial panics. And what preceded all those panics was a great inflationary speculative time. The stock market went to new all-time highs in January of 22. And so now we see what's going on, and it's beyond everyone's control, the Fed, the governments. So the question is, can they control the implosion? And I suspect they want to do it slow over time so they can grab power. If it happens too quick, it's Katie bar the door, and then they lose control. So I can't predict whether it's going to be fast or slow. I think they're going to try for the slow route.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video provided a good foundation of understanding for what's happening, and I hope it connected some dots for you.